Can you start a podcast with me, please? I need something to do.
Pastrnak sent it out in front of Malkin to save. They score! Elias Lindholm looks to the heavens.
Here's a chance. Patra right in, and goalie scores. Oh my! What a move by the rookie.
2-on-1. Pastrnak moving in with Marchand. Get into it. Score!
The zone. Coyle dances in. Backhand score!
Lindholm right wing corner. Pastrnak is there. He scores! David Pastrnak wins it for Boston.
Welcome in, everyone, to another episode of Bruins Tape to Tape. I'm your host today, Caroline with a K, and this week we are talking about the Olympics, and I'm doing so with my fantastic co-host, Maria from Watertown. Hi, Maria.
Hello, Caroline. How are you today?
Good, good. I've been watching a lot of hockey, and I love it. I'm so glad. How about you? Have you been keeping up with the games?
I've been trying to do my best when I can find them. The hunting and pecking with the streaming pisses me off, to say the least. But I was hoping for a little bit more compelling hockey. I don't think it's been that awesome yet, you know. So, and I'm sure we can get into our thoughts on that. I have some thoughts on perhaps why there's been a little bit of lack of drama in these preliminary rounds, and the hockey hasn't been as furious as I expected it to be yet.
Yeah, it's been interesting for both the men's and the women's side, because on the women's side, so we are now in the semifinal level of play. We've already seen some knockouts happen. It's definitely been a very lopsided tournament there. And on the men's side, going into it, I certainly thought that, okay, this could be anyone's tournament. And there's definitely one team that they're running away with it, and everyone else is playing a relatively even tournament. So that was a little bit of a surprise because I wasn't expecting that. Let's dive in and we can talk a little bit about some of the Bruins that we've seen out there, and then we'll talk the Olympic Games. We saw Jeremy Swayman's Olympic debut, which, well, first of all, before we even talk about him, I have to get this off my chest because people think I'm crazy. I'm sure some of our listeners probably also disagree with me and think that I'm crazy. I got to tell you, when I watched the very first Team USA game, I could not believe whoever makes the final decision, I'm assuming the coach, opted to go with Connor Hellebuck. I cannot believe that the choice wasn't between Jeremy Swayman and Jake Ottinger. I know I'm not the only one, because I have heard other talking heads say that it was between the two of them, that both of them have earned the net. And yet it almost seemed like, well, without question, it was handed to Hellebuck.
Yes.
And it drives me bonkers because, not because they didn't pick, Jeremy Swayman first because, he's a Bruins goalie and I must be biased. No. I'll tell you why. That man has the worst yips I have ever seen from an elite goaltender. That, sure, he's having a bad season, just like Jordan Binnington is having a bad personal season. The difference here is Jordan Binnington has shown throughout his career in big pressure, important games, he is still clutch in those games. And that's why he had that net. Connor Hellebuck, he's, I can't believe that they picked him. I can't believe that they picked him. What were your thoughts when you saw him starting?
Well, again, we watch our team play. We pay attention to what happens across the league to, a decent degree. And we follow people who are informed on these things. And leading up to these Olympics, we were all led to believe that based on performances on the ice and how these keepers and netminders had fared through the course of the season leading up to the Olympics, that the net would likely go to Jeremy Swayman.
Or Jake Ottinger.
They want Hellebuck to be the guy. There's no questioning and no doubt about that. They want Hellebuck to be the guy. Now, maybe some of it is kind of to prop him up to some degree. I don't know what kind of a head case he is. We've seen him crumble on more than one occasion in difficult situations where his team needed him to step up. Now, let's see how things go with the next round. Because to me, this first round of games should have been, and it was, a shoo-in for both Team USA men and Team USA men Canada. Let's see what happens when the next round of play begins. And if he starts to show any cracks, how long it will take Mike Sullivan and his coaching staff to make a decision. Now, I will say that our netminder, Jeremy Swayman, didn't do himself any favors with the start he had on Saturday. 2 goals, I think, very soft. I don't want to hear about the color of the boards. And even he was asked about it, and he said, it doesn't make a difference to me. I'm basically colorblind anyways. So he didn't help his case any with how he played in the start that he was given. And I understand why he was given the start. They were playing back-to-back games, and it seems like all of these teams are trying to manage their goalies with the schedules that they have been given. So, I think if Swayman had played better, I think he would make the decision from Mike Sullivan and the rest of the coaching staff a hell of a lot harder.
Yes,
but
I agree.
But let's just see what happens in the next round of play.
Speaking of Jeremy Swayman, because we'll talk a little bit about the Bruins that are playing. Obviously, he did not have a spectacular game. He definitely had 2 goals that were just at least one that was terrible luck. The first goal allowed going off of Werenski, that just sucks. I felt like that was just kind of crappy bad luck. You really hope that your goaltender can stay on top of those. And who knows, maybe there were nerves. This is the first big game. But I will say in another, argument for him to have been used perhaps in the first game and Otter in the second game and whatever, was the fact that Swayman took Team USA to the World Championship. To Worlds last year.
And I think people were putting a lot of stock in his play in that tournament.
Yeah. And I think, and I agree with you, the shot from the boards, that was terrible. Like that was 100% on him. Who knows? Maybe he was just not paying attention because it was close to the end of the period. But he had his shot. I think, I hate to say it because it's not that he was horrible. The team still won, but I doubt we'll see him again.
No, I think that long distance shot was one that
sunk him.
I think it did sink him to some degree. I really, and this, this is not a tournament where the margin for error is very, very tight. It's a very, very tight window.
It is. And again, hence the reason why I think it's insane that they're going with Hellebuck, because this isn't the best of X number of games. It's one and done. So perhaps that first round was quote unquote low pressure and he did fine. I don't know that he Hellebuck necessarily faced a ton of shots to say, like, oh my God, he was standing on his head like we saw with some of these other teams' goaltenders.
Yeah.
So he wasn't being put through the paces, and the pressure, very different. Preliminary round, everybody moves on.
Everyone
It's
moves
just about
on.
seeding.
Right. You're trying to build your point status, your goal differential status, which Canada is like freaking running away with. It's crazy. They're like a plus 17 or plus 19. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, that the beat down against France at 10-2, that's like, that projected them to a goal differential that I'm not sure anyone's going to catch up to at this point.
So exactly, the preliminary round is more so about your offensive firepower. Not obviously you have to win, and you win by scoring goals, and then you get your seeding based on the points and then goal differential. So it was obviously very important that for any of these teams that their goal scorers are the ones who did the bulk of the work there. It's going to be, I would imagine, potentially a little bit more of a defensive game, or you're going to see a little bit more defensive focus in the following rounds, because then it becomes the knockout. That's where it matters. So,
well, it didn't seem to me that a lot of teams were playing with a sense of urgency because they were preliminary games. And
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah. And I found that to be a tad bit boring, to be perfectly honest with you. And I call it not compelling hockey. I'm also starting to wonder if because the rink is not up to international hockey standards, right? And so, you've got a smaller ice surface to work with. If that is impeding some of the playmaking,
right?
There just doesn't seem to be a lot of like good ebb and flow to the games.
Yep. Agreed. So let's take a quick look at some of our other Bruin players. David Pastrnak with Czechia. He's had himself, I could have sworn, more than one goal, but
no, he's only had 3 points.
Yeah.
I ran the stats this morning, and in 3 games played, he has only 3 points.
Yeah. He's had a quieter
1 goal, 2 assists. Now, he's had opportunities on the power play.
Oh my God.
I think the other day, was it yesterday? Before?
Wide open net.
And
it went high.
I know. He's bunched up with a bunch of other players with 3-point margin here with 3 games played. I couldn't even find a stat for Linus Lindholm in this.
I know. Well, I saw Losh Melis for Latvia. He has himself 2 points. Great. Good job. We love to see that. And then we've got, I know, I was looking, I'm like, I don't see.
No, you got to dig down. You have to dig down deep here. But even like someone like Sebastian Aho, he's struggling a little bit. He's got, in 3 games, he's got 2 goals. You expect a little bit more.
I think your point of...
But even Brad Marchand, now Brad's only played 1 game.
2? Oh, 1
only
game.
1. And he's registered only 1 point. Now, John Cooper did say that Marchand would play in the quarterfinals. So,
yeah. And I think that kind of backs up your point of everything, in that these teams that have a lot of expectation put on them, these, the Canada, US, Sweden, Finland, those teams, I'm not saying that they didn't play hard, but I think they didn't put everything out there. And that's insane, because if anyone watched Team Canada play even 5 minutes, first of all, holy crap. But second of all, holy crap if they've got another level, which that they do.
Yeah. No. They're scary. And I'm not sure that I could say the same thing about Team USA being a scary team.
Before we dive into then our kind of breakdown and discussion about, in particular, Team Canada, Team USA, because those are obviously the big ones. The women's tournament has been going strong.
Jesus,
Team
they are
USA,
kicking ass, man.
when I think about the men's tournament and the women's tournament, the way I see the men's Team Canada play is exactly how I see the women's Team USA play. They are they are surgical. They are a machine. They are intense. And
They're
they are
fast.
playing right. They are playing right now as we record this. So by the time you hear this, the outcome will have been determined. They are
Yes.
currently playing Team Sweden in a knockout round, and they lead 1-0.
Yes, and I think it's in between periods right now.
It is. They've only allowed 1 goal this entire
I was
tournament.
just going to go there. 26 goals for and only 1 goal against. It's unbelievable what these women are doing. They are kicking serious ass.
Yeah, I mean, you watch them play, and
They're fun to watch. They are fun to watch. Yeah.
It's like a ballet. It's just beautiful to watch, and you've got players out there like Abby Murphy, she is a future superstar, and she can skate circles around anyone. It's almost like she can just will the puck to go where it needs to go. It's just absolutely just surreal to watch. Again, this is a team with high expectations, but I don't think that they went into this tournament. I mean, I don't think us as fans, whatever the world, was looking at them and saying, yes, you are the ones who are going to do it. I think Canada is always going to have that mantle placed on them, regardless, that the expectation is that they go all the way. And since 1998, Canada has won most of the tournaments. The United States has done it, I believe, only once or twice before, and it's been not since when were they in Korea?
Cool. Yeah,
2018.
It's been a while.
2018, because 14 was Sochi. So, I'm very excited to see what they can do, because they haven't lost sight of what's in front of them. They don't seem to be playing with any other thought in their mind than what's right in front of them, and it's just watching them play is extremely admirable.
They are fun to watch, and it's a testament to USA hockey and the growth of the sport here, particularly from the women's side of things. It's just amazing, and these women, just their dedication to their craft is superb.
Mhm.
Just superb.
Yes. In less awesome news, we've seen our first serious injury of an NHL player, Kevin Fiala, when they played against Team Canada, so Switzerland.
He got tangled up with Tom Wilson.
I got to tell you, forever, I was watching the clip over and over again, and I couldn't even really understand what happened, because it didn't seem like anything terrible.
No, it was just an innocuous tangling up with a bad result. And I did see on social media, because it's Tom Wilson, and far be it for any of us as Bruins fans to defend Tom Wilson in any way, shape, or form. But there was no friggin' slew foot there, people.
Agreed.
That was just an unfortunate hockey scrum that ended in probably the worst results that you would want to have happen, which is a season-ending injury to Kevin Fiala, who suffered what is being referred to as fractures, not just fractures in his lower left leg. He underwent surgery. The LA Kings put out a statement yesterday. He's resting comfortably, will begin recovery and rehabilitation. He's going to miss the remainder of this NHL season, and then he'll be reevaluated at the end of the regular season. So this was one of my concerns, right? And I know this injury could have happened during a regular season game because, again, it was just, along the boards, a puck battle. They got tangled up. It was nothing more than that, but it just had a terrible, terrible result for Kevin Fiala. But I hope that there are no more of these types of injuries.
No, you hate to see it. It's just awful. All right. So, as a quick recap, just of where the tournaments stand as of today, February 16th, we have women's Team USA and Sweden, like I said.
Right now, live as we speak.
Later today is Team Canada versus Switzerland. The winners of those games are going on to the gold medal game, which will be on February 19th. And then the other two teams that don't win also play on the 19th earlier in the day for the bronze medal. So effectively, you see, we've got our four. 3 of the 4 remaining teams are going to be walking away with medals. So we will know what happens by the 19th, which is great. They've been playing a long time already. They're probably pooped.
I know. It seems like they have been playing a lot longer than the men have been playing, which is the case. They started before the Olympics.
They did.
Even officially began. So
they did. Yeah. They've been playing for, not every day for 10 days, but they've already been there for they've already been in Italy for probably about 2 weeks. So that's a long time already to be away. And then for the men's, again, we just got out of the preliminary round robin.
Correct.
The 4 top seeds, as determined by points and goal differential, ended up being Canada with number 1, USA with number 2, Slovakia with number 3. That was a pleasant surprise. And Finland. Number 4.
Right.
And I'm not surprised by Finland, only because in their final game of the preliminaries, I believe they finished a game with a final of 11-0.
I feel the poor Italians have just been beat down. Down in every single one of these games.
I think for both, again, the men's and the women's Italian teams, I know we're not doing our usual stick taps, but they deserve a tremendous stick tap. Those goaltenders, just unreal, the number of shots that they're facing, and the fact that they didn't allow that many goals considering the shots. Those goalies still walked away with probably a 900 save percentage.
No. They do have reason to be proud. It's just unfortunate that, as the host nation, you're participating in the sport that clearly you don't have the, how do I put this? You're just not ready for prime time yet.
They're still in a
hockey.
Developmental phase.
Yeah.
Certainly. And I have to say, at least for the women's goaltender, PWHL scouts better be giving her a very, very close look, because some of the saves that this woman made were unbelievable. I can't remember who they were playing. I want to say Team USA. She made a diving save with the paddle of her stick on Abby Murphy. It was unbelievable. I was blown away. So whenever the PWHL goes to expand once more, because they are going to continue to expand, I hope we see this woman in the league, because, not to knock any of the Italian clubs, but that woman, holy cow. She was able to survive and thrive against some of the best players in the world. Unbelievable. Well done, them.
Well, at least they've had an opportunity. Those players, have had an opportunity to showcase themselves to some degree. And
Yep.
to your point, I'm sure that there are many, many scouts and organizations,
Sure.
in Milan, Cortina watching these games. So
Yeah.
at least they've had that opportunity as hosts and ambassadors for the Olympics.
Yeah. So the first games for the knockout round for the men's tournament will begin on the 17th.
Correct.
We've got Germany and France playing against each other, Switzerland and Italy, Czech Republic and Denmark, Sweden and Latvia. The winner of...
And then those winners will play the seedings as they basically stand on February 18th. So there's going to be a lot of hockey in the next 3 days, 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
Very exciting part of the men's tournament is coming up. Now,
and I know people are complaining about the gold medal game and what time the gold medal game will take place on Sunday, February 22nd. But here's the reality, folks. These athletes are all there to absorb all that I would hope and think, all that encompasses the Olympics, including participating in the closing ceremonies. That's why these games have been scheduled when they have been scheduled, so as to provide the opportunity for whoever is participating in those gold medal games to be able to go to the closing ceremonies.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's for them first and foremost. This isn't like the NHL where it is exclusively a product of entertainment for consumption. That's not what the Olympics is. It's for the athletes. So the focus is very different. And quite frankly, I have zero problem with getting up. The game is at 2:00 local time there. So it's at 8:00 in the morning.
Yeah, it will be at 8:10, I believe, on Sunday morning. What's the big deal?
That's fine.
What are we? I mean, honestly, this is what drives me nuts, right? People will wake up to watch a flippin' NFL football game at an ungodly hour, but we're complaining about about a gold medal hockey game here. What are we doing? So,
exactly. Let's talk about the men again as a quick overview. The Team USA men, because we're going to just talk mostly Team USA and Team Canada because these are obviously the big guns here. Team USA won 5-1 against Latvia, 6-3 against Denmark, and 5-1 against Germany. Team Canada won 5-0 against Czechia, 5-1 against Switzerland, and 10-2 against France. And the 10-2 win had 9 different goal scorers.
Yeah, and I think that game had a little bit of feistiness late in the game, I think, and rightfully so. I'm sure that France just felt so embarrassed, demoralized, frustrated that things did get a little chunky chippy in that game.
Yeah,
but I do want to say there was Matt Tkachuk is being Matt Tkachuk. And I forget what game it was, if it was yesterday or the day before, where, he said to an opponent, always the bride. I mean, you could see it clearly without even the need for him to be mic'd up, always the bridesmaid. So I guess, if he thinks that's what his team needs to get them a little bit more emotionally engaged in the game, or, who knows if something was said to him, if something was said to him first, then you feel compelled to respond in kind. I'm fine with it. I thought it was a little funny, but I know a lot of people don't like his antics or don't appreciate his antics because he does have a little bit of a, rat behavior. But let's not forget that, we had the king of the rats as a member of the Boston Bruins for many, many, many years.
Yeah. I think for me, like with his play and his brother's play, because they've gotten a little pushy shovey, a little chippy. It's not that I have a problem with them necessarily being chippy in a game. I don't trust them to not take it too far in an international game where the rules of decorum are different. That
Yes, I would agree with you.
even if you're playing against another team that is also 100% NHLers, the rules are different. The written and unwritten rules of decorum are different. And I feel like I just can't trust them because that's who they are through and through. And I don't know how you can expect someone who, whatever their personality is, to then not be that thing in the game.
I hear what you're saying. I
Yeah.
hear what you're saying. And far be it for me to defend these boys. Listen, I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't say that I would take either one of them on my team in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
Mhm.
Because they can play. They're
Sure.
players. They're big game players. They are leaders, right? They're leaders on their respected teams. They know how to play. But I believe that they understand
Mhm.
the dynamics of this tournament and they understand what's at stake here. It's not only the respect and reputation that you carry, but it's also of your team and your nation. So I think that these boys, I would hope and think that these boys understand that and that there are other people on the team that will, in fact, get them to understand that if it seems like they're stepping over that line. But there are instances where guys like Matt Tkachuk and, Brad Marchand and Tom Wilson's, they need to have that little bit of dog or dirt in them
Sure.
to
Yeah.
play to the level that they expect of themselves. It's just tempering that, knowing your audience, knowing when to use it, and knowing when to stow it away.
Yeah. I have to imagine kind of the way
USA just went up 2-0.
well, you must be in the future because I still only show one.
Yep. No, we're in the second period here. They just
Here it comes.
they killed off.
There it
the power-
is.
Yeah,
There it
here
is.
Yeah.
There it is.
They just got off the. That was a bad goal to let in.
Oh, but look who's on the ice. Abby Murphy. The way that I feel about those brothers, I have to imagine is how a lot of Team Canada fans feel about Tom Wilson. You heard about it going into the Olympics, like just a ton of
Right.
concern. Like,
Yeah.
can he keep it under control? Can he keep it under
Rightfully
control?
so. These are all valid concerns because we have seen the slip ups in the past where these types of players sometimes can't help themselves and they take it sometimes to a level where you're like, did you really have to do that, you dumbass? And I know I've said this about Brad in the past too. Like, really? What are you doing right now? That was stupid.
Our whole Bruins season this year has been exactly that, with stupid penalties that cost them in the long run a win. And again, now entering the phase of the tournament where you're one and done. That's it. If you lose, you're done. You go home.
Right.
And it's just, again, this team, and I know you kind of started talking about this a little bit, and definitely let's move into this, but for me, the biggest difference between Team Canada and Team USA is Team Canada, I don't know what it is. It's not just their pure talent, because Team USA has a ridiculous amount of talent as well.
Yes.
For me, the difference, I think, comes down to on Team Canada, it is a seamless integration of each of these parts that come together to create this singular team that just works together so perfectly. I don't know if you then call that, is that chemistry,
They're
synergy, whatever ridiculous thing you want to call it.
I think they seem more together as a
Cohesive.
unified team, cohesive unit right now than Team USA does.
Yeah. And maybe, and again, this could be the result of the team culture that has been developed and created by Sid for the past however many years, right? Since 2010. I mean, he's been an Olympian since 2010. And that certainly seems like his style of leadership. It's don't yap with your mouth, yap with your skill
Correct.
set ability,
Yeah.
right? And so I don't know if that's a Sid-led team culture thing. It could be a Canadian personality cultural thing. I don't know, but I feel like that's very much.
But look at the players that they have
Yeah.
assembled on Team Canada. And again, all great players on both sides of the fence. But when you look at the skill set and the leadership ability of the players that have been put together on Team Canada, because most of these guys are leaders
Yes.
on the teams that they play for.
Yep. And I feel like they are very much so a similar brand of leadership. What they bring is different. Each one of them brings something different, but their brand of leadership, again, it's I'm going to just go out there and play. Versus with Team USA, it feels like a bunch of parts that have been brought together, mostly working well together, but it just feels a little more individualistic, a little bit more, I almost want to say, all-star teamy. And I don't mean that necessarily in a bad way. It's just still very, very much a group of individual parts. I don't know. It's so hard to articulate, and to watch them play out there seems very much full of effort that, like you said earlier, can they sustain this? Because I think they look like they're trying very hard. And I'm not saying that the other teams aren't trying hard, but you can tell that they are trying very hard. You have high shots on goal, but they're not walking away with 10-goal games. And it kind of feels like it could be a slog. And can they raise it another level for 3 more games?
That's why I'm going to be really curious to see at this next level here. Because again, I didn't see a lot of sense of urgency in their play.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they don't even play in the next round.
They're definitely not as deep, in my view. They're definitely not as deep as Team Canada. I mean, you even look at a kid like Macklin Celebrini, freaking 19 years old.
He scored 2
and
goals.
3 games. He's got 4 goals, 6 points. He's behind Connor McDavid in points scored, right? And I'm not discounting Team USA, because it's anything is possible. Anything can happen.
Yes.
But based on what I'm seeing of both teams, boy, Team USA is going to have to play. If and when they face each other in whatever round it is, they're going to have, I think, the game of their lives.
Agree.
Of their lives. Because this is not like the Four Nations.
It's
where,
not.
you can just drop the gloves and get the crowd going and pose your physical will, because, any questionable hits can have you sent from the game. There's no fighting. I think I think that's the difference with these two teams. I think Team USA might need to play with a little bit of that. And will they be able to play with a little bit of that? Can they?
Can they do that? What is it? 2 more games
without crossing lines or without getting themselves into a hole that they can't get out of.
And even thinking about the comparison of this team to the team that played in the Four Nations, which again, it's mostly the same. I remember thinking after Four Nations last year, I was so impressed with Team USA. And I thought, and I said, if this is the team that shows up to play in the Olympics, this is the best chance that they've had in a very, very long time. But looking at the team that I have seen play over the last week, that's not the same team that I saw in the Four Nations. I can't necessarily articulate it, but I don't get the same feeling.
Yeah. I think to some degree, and I don't want to say, because no players should be holding back, but it just seems to me that they haven't reached their highest level yet.
Right.
That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong.
Right. Well, hopefully what we saw wasn't it. You know what I mean? Like that it wasn't the...
Right. No. I know. Because if not, yeah,
right.
Canada's, if you end up facing Canada, they're going to wax your doors.
Right. And Team USA is going to be playing either Sweden or Latvia. So that's who they will take on February 18th, the winner of that particular game.
The winner of that game. Yep.
Yep. And then, only then, if they win, and if Canada beats the winner of Czechia versus Denmark.
And that Latvia team, they've got some feistiness to them,
They do. They have some spice. But that's where things are as of today, February 16th in the Olympics. And it's going to be an exciting week to come. We're going to see who walks away with a medal. The NHL teams are going to be back at it very, very soon. In fact, there are practices already scheduled before the folks who are in Milan get back.
The Bruins are they're going to begin practicing. Those Bruins who are not participating in the Olympics are being called back to work on February 18th.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe their first game after the Olympics, I want to say, is February 24th.
24th or 25th. Yeah, it's midweek that week. So presumably you've got any of the teams that are playing in the gold medal game, which is the 22nd, the bronze medal game, which is the 21st. They'll all be coming back. They'll have like a day or two of rest, and then it's back
and
to
actually,
work,
the Bruins may not start right away. Some teams are going to start right away.
I want to say the Bruins' first game is the 25th, but I'm
going to verify that right now.
Their first game back is the 26th for Boston. Yeah.
So,
and they're home, which is good. Like that's good for our players who are away.
Charlie Coyle comes back to Boston on the 26th.
Yeah.
So and then it's a free for all. It is an unmitigated free for all.
Get ready. It's
like when you look at this, it's freaking nuts. Absolutely.
It's the
nuts.
sprint. But that being said, I want to thank everybody for tuning back in. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content, and be sure to leave a rating and review to help other Bruins fans find us. You can support the pod by joining our Patreon or following us on our socials at Tape2Tape.mk and on Substack at tape2tapemk.substack.com. Any final thoughts, Maria?
Go Team USA.
As always, go Bees and go Olympics.
Go Bees.